You are inside the studio with Powertex. Welcome to the Mixed Media podcast for artists, crafters, and adventurous creators. This podcast is for you if your creativity cannot be defined by any label, and where the only limit here is your imagination. I'm Michelle Brewer, Creative Director at Powertex UK. Now let's talk all things Powertex, mixed media, and creativity. Hello, you are inside the studio with me, and today we are talking about colour. It's exciting. It's a very important subject for us in mixed media and Powertex, of course, in the arts and crafts world, but it's something in mixed media we get really excited about because we have access to so many different products. That's the whole joy of mixed media, isn't it? We mix it up. And with that, with all the products, come a huge range and choice of colours. So we have a real appreciation, I think, in mixed media of the joy of colour. And it brings us a lot of joy, but it also can bring some frustration, or a level of frustration or misunderstanding around colour. So I've set up something called the Secret Colour Club. It's a brand new subscription club that you can join through Powertex, and there's a digital only version or a product based version, so you get some things through the post as well. But the reason I want to talk to you today about why I set the Secret Club up and the significance around colour, because colour is a subject that I talk about regularly. I speak to people on a daily basis about colour, and I understand that there's a lack of confidence with a lot of people in their Powertex projects and mixed media work around colour. And if you search for help with colour, with your artwork or creative work, there's a lot of information based around colour theory and value and tones and hues and composition that all come together talking about colour when creating a work. But I found that what I wanted was some real advice, some strong advice that just says, this colour will work here, and then this is why. So I wanted to provide more information around that, and I have. And of course, colour theory has its place, but there's the colour wheel and all of these different kinds of things. And you can find out like the what colours, how, why, when. But I wanted to go deeper than that. And I have in the Secret Colour Club. I wanted to look at the history of some of the pigments. So I'm talking around in the Secret Colour Club, pigments, pigmentation, the history of it. I think if you understand where a particular colour, so we do a deep dive every month on a colour, and where that's come from and the history of it. And I think if you can understand some of that, then you understand how the colours work, maybe in what scenarios they can work with. So if you have something that has been derived from, I don't know, let's say bricks. Okay, so like a brick dust colour. I have got one called Brick Dust. Launching this year on Powertex, not in the Secret Colour Club. Then you understand what kind of scenarios you would find brick dust in real life. So you'd find it in bricks, in those beautiful red bricks, and where in the world that lives. And then it kind of starts to make sense, doesn't it? Where that colour would look good. Or maybe in nature. There are so many different colours out there, but they seem to work. You don't see awful clashing colours that don't go together. In the natural world, you only see them when humans have made some really strange decisions about colour. So I think it can start with the root of seeing where that colour come from, how it was made, where it can then fit in the world and maybe within our projects. So we did a huge theme all around Egypt, and there were lots of yellow and gold, and then that beautiful blue that's infamous around Egypt, but mostly yellows and golds. And you think of the pyramids and the sand when you think of Egypt, don't you? And all of those gorgeous colours. So I think that's a big part. And just understanding sort of the history and inspiration around colours brings a lot of joy too. I think with knowledge and understanding comes a level of satisfaction that we then bring into our work. So that's one part of the Secret Colour Club that I think is really important and key, and often missed when we start looking for support and help with colours. And then the practicalities with things like what the colours are, the finish. So whether they are matte colours, metallic, pearlescent, interference, iridescent. What do all of those different words mean? And why is it important? Why does it matter? What can they be used with? Can they go together? Can they be mixed? They're kind of practicalities around colour in mixed media that aren't always discussed, but definitely make a difference. And I want to unveil those secrets in the Secret Colour Club. And I think that will have a long-term positive impact on your work. There are techniques with colour. So the application of colour and the different techniques around those applications. Why is that important? What can we do with it? And we all know there's dry brushing. That's the one that's most popular. But when should we use dry brushing? And when shouldn't we use it? Is there an alternative with Powertex to colour our work? What else should we look at? What else should we try? So what are those techniques? How do we use them? And then there's the next level, isn't there? So this is for people who want to level up. You've got the basics, you know the techniques, you understand all the colour. Maybe you've got more than the basics. But now you want to learn how to add shadows and depth and gradient, how you want to blend colours. Because when we start critiquing our own work, maybe we're comparing ourselves to other people or comparing our projects. We don't understand how a finish has been created. How have they done that? How have they got that effect? And you can't always work it out just by looking at it. You can't actually always work it out just by someone saying, oh, I blended those colours. What does that mean? When did you blend them? Did you blend them on the palette? Did you blend them on the work itself? Do you blend them in a pot? Do you mix them beforehand? That kind of thing I really want to support with. So some work and some projects really have the wow factor. And a lot of that comes down to like the finish and the colour. So there are techniques, of course. With Powertex, there's the fabric sculpting technique, which is amazing in itself. But certainly in the beginning, that for me, the magic happens when you apply the colour. That's the wow factor, the brushing at the end when even if you just go with one colour. So a classic is the black Powertex. So you just use black Powertex and then the rich gold pigment to highlight at the end. That's it. So you create your lovely piece and you've kept it simple with black Powertex, whatever it is. You might have just done a simple water pot. Maybe you've made a magician's wand, or maybe you've gone the whole hog and created a beautiful Highland cow in lovely black Powertex with that gorgeous power cotton for the cow hair. I'd say cow hide, but they're so hairy that hides just doesn't sound right. And then when it's dry, you mix the rich gold Colourtrix pigment in some easy varnish. You dry off your brush on your piece of kitchen roll, and then you gently glide that brush across the textures, and that pow, It really is magic when you see that effect come to life, and you just want more of it. You get really excited and you think, wow, love it, I love it, I love it. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about with the wow factor. But I think there's a classic in Powertex that always works. It never fails to impress. And that's the turquoise. So the turquoise power colour is a matte pigment. So it's got no shine on it. And it's a really, truly beautiful colour. I love the turquoise. It works well on black and bronze Powertex, but also the ivory. And that's a tricky colour. As a base colour, the ivory Powertex can be quite tricky. And white, and it works amazingly on the green and the blue as well. So turquoise is a real classic. And why does that work? So we look into things like that in the Secret Colour Club. You can't go wrong with turquoise. And then you finish it with the Colourtrix bronze gold pigment. And that's a real classic combination. It's so beautiful. And it looks like the verdigris finish, you know, when the bronze and the copper that's aged, that beautiful colouring. And there's something about it that draws humans to it. Like, we absolutely love it, like moths to a flame. We just can't help loving those. I'm looking around my studio, even as I'm speaking right now, and the number of projects that I have using that gorgeous turquoise finish is amazing, because it's a classic and it works. So I think that it's important to have those fallback, to know what does work. So you have something to build your confidence. And with colour, a lot of it is confidence. What happens if it goes wrong? What happens if we don't like it? We've worked so hard on our piece, and then it comes to adding colour and it's going to go wrong. That can be quite scary, actually, because it's not just the time and effort you've put in. There's a financial side to it as well, isn't there? So you think, oh, what if it goes wrong? The beauty of mixed media and Powertex is you can normally fix it. So it's a rare project that you have made such a mess of it with the colouring that it's unfixable. So I want you to kind of relax about that. We have reached the halfway point of the show, and this is where I tell you about big, exciting things that are happening at Powertex this month. Coming up, we have a mini tutor taster workshop. This is for anyone who has ever considered becoming a certified Powertex tutor. And this mini workshop is the opportunity for you to try your hand at being a tutor for a week. So find the details on our website, powertex.co.uk, and look in Academy events to sign up for your workshop. We start on the 27th of January, and the whole workshop takes place online, so you can join at your own convenience. Okay, back to the show. And there are projects if you want to have a bronze finish, so a faux bronze. So you made a sculpture and you want to look like you've carved that out of bronze. So you can create it with the bronze colour Powertex, which is a lovely rich dark brown, and you apply a bronze gold Colourtrix dry brushing finish to it. That's really, really, it's just a classic look, but it does actually look like imitation bronze. I think having a few of those classic colour combinations up your sleeve really helps you in the beginning, but it can also help you when you're further along on your creative journey and you get stuck and you start wondering what it is that you need to up level your project, or maybe you've run out of inspiration, maybe you're having a confidence wobble and you just need to go back to a classic, something that will work. Maybe you're trying something brand new. It's a new idea, a new kind of armature build, maybe a brand new concept, and then you need something familiar just to reassure yourself. So go with a colour combination that you know works when everything else is brand new. That would be my top tip around when you're moving on to the next level, because it can be hard to assess our own abilities and our own level, if you like, where we're at. And the easiest way to do that is to look inwards and think, am I really comfortable doing this? Is this really comfortable? Is this easy? Am I slightly bored? And if the answer to those is yes, you're really comfortable, yes, it's very easy, and yes, I'm slightly bored, then you're probably just operating in your comfort zone. That's all it is. And then as crafters, we often then find a shiny new thing. So we look for, I don't know, a new craft, a new product, maybe. I'm guilty of all of these. I'm not pointing fingers. We'll look for something new. But I encourage you, because this is where the magic happens, to just stick with what you're doing and move out of your comfort zone to find what's next. How can I now move this to the next level? Because in mixed media, Powertex, mixed media, that kind of creativity, the only limits are your imagination. You don't need to go and find a brand new different craft. You can if you want to, and then bring it in. Powertex blends with everything. But you don't need to find that to get that dopamine hit of the wow or something new or that you're learning, because the only limit is your imagination. There is so much more you can do, and it blends with other crafts. And I think with something like knitting, I'm not picking on knitting, I'm rubbish at it, it really frustrates me. But something like knitting, you can practice and you can get better at knitting and create really beautiful things. I love those Fair Isle jumpers. Like, they're on my dream list. They're very expensive, rightly so. I completely understand why they are. But, you know, that for me is like the pinnacle of knitting. They look amazing. But it's still just knitting. With mixed media, you can bring them knitting in and fabric sculpt to some of your knitting if you like. But with mixed media, you can try so many different things. You don't need to get bored or stuck. The reason that you're bored or stuck is you're operating in your comfort zone. I really believe this. I don't know how I've moved so far away from talking about colour. I can feel myself going off on a tangent about comfort zones, and we'll save that for another podcast. Now bring it back to colour. This is me talking to myself as well as you at the same time. But where was I going with this? At the beginning of my Powertex journey, I was very lucky that I had Tracy Evans as my mentor, my guide, my teacher, my tutor, my manager. And she's amazing. There's so much knowledge that Tracy has. Like, it's impossible for her to share all of that knowledge, even in a number of years. And I'm very lucky that I still get to learn from Tracy on a regular basis. But we don't all have Tracy in our back pocket, do we? We don't all have Tracy helping us. And so that's what I want to provide, a space and some support and information to help you. We have each other. We have our Facebook group, the Powertex Studio. That's really useful. But now we also have the Secret Colour Club. And if colour brings you joy, and if you would like to deepen your knowledge of colour, you want to build a colour collection, if you want to move out of your comfort zone, if you want to learn some new techniques, I strongly recommend the Secret Colour Club. So it starts on the 1st of March. You can join right at the beginning. And let me tell you what it is. I don't want this podcast to feel like one big advert, so I'm sharing the information with you, but because you might have missed this. But the Secret Colour Club, it's a monthly subscription. So if you want the products as well, it's only little. You're not going to get an overwhelming amount of boxes, but it's beautiful. You get a brand new limited edition colour pigment that is not released anywhere else. It's exclusive to the Secret Colour Club. That's it. You can't get this pigment anywhere else. So there is a colour pigment comes through your door, a beautifully designed colour card with information about that colour, the history, you know, what I was talking about, inspiration and where those colours come from, that kind of thing. So colour card for that particular colour pigment. Then there is a colour lesson, so a written lesson, and that's not to do with the colour. It can be anything. It can be on a technique, a how-to, you know, something like that, colour theory, but all to do specifically with pigments and mixed media. So a lesson, a worksheet, so on some practices, what am I trying to say? Some tasks. I want a better word then. What's task? Sounds like a chore, doesn't it? Not a chore. Something fun to do. Practical applications of that lesson. So a little worksheet to do that. And a link to a video demonstration. So there's the pigment, the colour card, the lesson, the worksheet, and a video of the lesson every month. That's $14.99, including postage and packaging to your door. If you don't want the parcel, but you love all the other bits, you don't want any more pigments, maybe you're thinking, I've got enough colours. I don't know many people that think like that, but you might think, actually, I've got enough colours. I don't want any more. Don't want any more stuff. Wish I felt like that. I've got a lot of stuff. You can get the digital version of the Colour Club for $9.99. So you get all of the things except the pigment through your door, but it's all online. So you can print it off yourself. And that's $9.99 a month. So that's what you get in the Secret Colour Club. There's no big backlog of library. There's no feeling left behind. There's no community element that you have to join in or feel like you're missing out of. It's very, very easy to take part, and it's easy to join, and you can leave at any time as well. So I don't tie you in. There's no contract. I only want people to be there if they'd like to be there. You can join for a whole year and get 2 months free as well. So that's on the website now at powertex.co.uk. And if you join before we kick off our first month, so sign up before the end of February, I send you a beautiful colour swatch, batch of our colour swatch cards. We've got gorgeous A6 colour swatches, and I will send those to you as part of your subscription, your first month. So that's the Secret Colour Club. I thought it was important for me to share why I've started that club. I found that this will definitely be the easiest way that I can share lots and lots of information. I've been asked before to go on to Powertex Unleashed, which is our Thursday live demonstration, and do some colour techniques. But it's only short. We only have 30 minutes, and I waffle a lot on Powertex Unleashed. And not everyone's on Facebook either, so not everyone gets to see that. So I really, really wanted to be able to put something in place that was easy for our mixed media fans to access. So hopefully I've done that with the Colour Club. And those are the kind of things that you can expect in it. Let's share the joy. We're going to remove the frustrations that are around colours and techniques. And for me, I've always felt like there's a lot of secrecy. And I know I talked about that in a different podcast. But a lot of secrecy around colours. And then I have attended many courses and many classes at great expense on colour and colour theory. But a lot of them are sharing the same information and they're presenting it in the same way, which is annoying because it's not sinking in. Like, I just think, okay, I know this. I know all of this. I'd heard it before. But it's still that you're missing something. You're not sharing. There's something you're hiding. There'll be no hiding in the Secret Colour Club. I want to share everything with you. But also mostly I think share the joy. The joy that I have found in shopping for pigments, in speaking to people that make the pigments, in understanding a lot of the core elements, making sure in sourcing those pigments that they are ethically sourced, that, no insects have been crushed. I think that's the one that really shocked me when I found out that not one of our pigments, but in the art world, they don't seem to mind so much that they've got a pigment by crushing this certain type of bug. And it just horrified me. I think that's really awful. And maybe back in the day, like back in caveman times, when they used to use... they had limited access. There was no hobby craft there, was there? There were no art and craft shops for the cavemen. They had to get inventive with some of their art materials. Now, we should be inventive now, but in a way that is not destroying other things or part of our earth. I do still love a charcoal stick, but a burnt wood. Anyway, now I am waffling. I'm talking utter nonsense. So that's the Secret Colour Club. You can find out more information on that. I will be back next week with another podcast episode. In the meantime, enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.